All right, this is going to be just a 30-second video. I mean, watch the screen for 30 seconds and you'll understand. Catwoman 23, like I said, it's a new writer put on it, and I took a look at the 22 yesterday. This is just a little advertisement for Wonder Woman by Mariko Tamaki. White guy tied up for being a supervillain, because why not? So this is Isle Nevada now. Some island, Spanish-speaking island, where there's I guess it's supposed to be Latin America, maybe off the coast of Latin America somewhere, where there's kind of a Miami Vice, play on Miami Vice character running around a Lamborghini who's importing cocaine. Fair enough. He gets eaten by a big cat. That's going to be the follow-up story. So she, Catwoman, with her boobs, gets a little travel advisor. He says, I'm obligated to inform you, the travel advisor, it's not safe. Fair enough. Just a perfectly reasonable thing to say. Thanks for the heads up. I'm a big girl. I don't need a white knight coming to my rescue. Unless that's a reference to Batman in a for earlier series, which I hope it is. At first I didn't make the connection that it might have been, but if it's not a reference to that, I don't need that in the comic. Okay, so she's on the plane. Her breasts are also on the plane with her. I do like chokers, God help me. And, actually, it kind of reminds me, you remember those 90s prints? What was that guy's name who drew those kind of like, in the 90s went through this weird, early 90s, late 80s, this weird, I don't know, Miami Vice influenced art, and I think it was cocaine fueling a lot of this stuff, and people got into that scene, and then they quickly realized, like, this is not for us. This is not something you can do for more than like once a year in Vegas. Okay, so this person on the plane, sex undetermined, makes her as Catwoman. So I guess I'm not familiar with the character. I guess it's a known character or something. So he goes, okay, I'll play along. What makes you so sure you know who I am? A ritzy white woman flying to an island filled with diamonds and violent criminals? Please, I'm old, not blind. I see them titties. So she gets off of this Spanish-speaking island. I don't know where it's supposed to be. Titties included. Looking just like, she looks like the cover of that book by Robert A. Heinlein, Friday. I think that came out in the 70s or 80s. That cover, Okay, so, Senora, you're so beautiful. You should have a flower. So these are the 4 kids who come running up to her to not just sell chiclets, but pick her pockets. But, the art and the composition, I love it. It looks good. Except for the 4 kids running up to pick her pockets in this Latin American country. When I see this, like, I'm willing to... The 2 scenes earlier, the guy gives her travel advisor, and she says, the white knight issue. Okay. It bugged me a little bit, but, I'll get past it. I'll just roll. And then the black chick, knowing who she is, referring to her as a white woman. I don't need that right now. I don't want to see that right now. Can you just lay off the sexism and the race stuff? Just give it a break for a few years. Why not? But I can still roll with it. That was 2 hits. And then I get to the 3rd hit where they say Senora. And what the fuck? Come on. Come on. This is supposed to be some Spanish-speaking country. Nobody... Okay, the kid's at least got a little bit of tan, but has he dyed his hair red, or is that natural red hair? Either one doesn't make sense. If he dyed his hair red, it's an SJW tip of the hat. And if it's natural red hair in a South American country... no, I get to this and I just say, just screw this. This is just, I start swearing. And then I get to this and I realize, okay, you were obviously high as a fucking kite. God damn, I can't swear on YouTube anymore. YouTube has lost its balls, man. It's just, okay, so this is the Miami Vice thing, and I don't know if they wrote this, and they obviously wrote it and thought, oh, this'll be genius. This'll be, he steals cocaine from Latin American country, and he's called Snowflame, and he drives around in what vaguely looks like a Lamborghini Countach. I think they made an updated version for a couple years ago. Where are you going with this? This is really, really silly. And then you've got some I don't know, Paris Hilton type character talking about using phrases like boomers and then about social media followers. This is, because thing is, I know it's written by women who look more like that than... I don't know where I was going with this. The women who write this stuff, or even the men who write this stuff, are... No one ever... They sit down and talk to them and say, you know, this is really trite, hackneyed, and overused. You want to try something fresh. Or nobody ever, like, I don't know what the editor's job is, but it's to do something more than just correct spelling and grammar. Anyway, so that was Woman 23. Yay. Now you can stop listening. Is Islam right about women? Men are starting to realize that it's safer just to work with women. Let me be honest here. Women, this is about this Leslye Headland article. I'll click on that in a second. Women benefit from men more of the time than vice versa. Just look at movies and comics. When women take over something, most of the time the product suffers. They need men to sort of bring balance to the force. They need the guiding stability of men. But now there is no way to move forward from this brave new Me Too world that a bunch of kvetching yentas on BuzzFeed basically created. The funny thing is, these Leslye Headlands and the rest, they think that by getting rid of the men, they think that they will get these jobs. And they will, but people won't buy their products. It's going to be a Pyrrhic victory. And I know it's not politically correct, but men in general are usually the ones innovating and bringing new products to market. So by getting rid of the men, you're killing the goose that lays the golden egg. Some women are well aware of this, but what are they going to do? We've completely thrown away any semblance of logic. So I read this article on Leslye Headland by Itchy Baca on Bleeding Full, and it was just absolute word salad. But I don't think she even believes what she's saying. She says she wants diversity for marginalized voices, but according to her rules, she shouldn't be there. So why is she there? You ever watch that Hillary Clinton interview where I'll say raccooning for votes? Hillary said that she keeps hot sauce in her purse, but she never followed it up, and the interviewer never asked her to whip it out, and no one in any future interviews ever asked her, so, you got that hot sauce? I guess not. I mean, nobody is crazy. Hillary will kill you, like, no joke. If she can kill Epstein, then she can get to anyone. I wonder what it feels like to be Giselle Maxwell in prison right now with the trial set about a year and a month from now. What does that feel like? Knowing it could happen anytime. Anyway, nobody asks any hard questions. Hey, Mr. NBA, China doesn't have such a great record on human rights. Hello? Oh, they hung up on me. So, Leslye Headland, Kathleen Kennedy, why are you there? Nobody stops to ask any questions because they don't believe anything that they are saying. They believe in this oppression Olympics concept, but women in the West are not marginalized. Maybe you can argue Latinas are underrepresented and marginalized, but Leslye Headland is not oppressed, and she's actually overrepresented. So why doesn't she and Brie Larson and the rest of these insufferable see you next Tuesdays hand their jobs over to a Chinese woman? Because they want diversity to get you fired, not them. And what happens if you do fire all these people of the light? I have to use euphemisms on YouTube. It sucks. What do? Because if they get other jobs, what's to prevent someone, a POC, from coming over and taking those jobs? Do you want them on welfare? Do you literally want the POCs to work to support the POLs that were fired? If you don't want to pay for their welfare, then do you want them to starve to death? If you fire an English director and replace him with a Spanish girl, you say he goes to work in editing, then he gets replaced by another Spanish girl. Well, where does it end? You're saying that he's not welcome in Hollywood at all, or is he even welcome in America anymore? Hey, fine with me. If you want to destroy Hollywood, it's full of guys like Weinstein. Weinstein just got caught. Public Enemy was right. Burn, Hollywood, burn. All I'm saying is, if you replace the men in Hollywood with women, your quality of movies is going to decrease. You'll get chick flicks. Men don't see chick flicks. But women will see action films because men will drag women to see them. But women can't drag men to see The Notebook. And what's the end game of all this woke-tardia? Just in terms of pop culture, like films and comics, will firing men and replacing them with women of color give you a better selling product? No. The past dozen women-centered films have sucked donkey balls. In comics, girl-powered comics are a crime against humanity. I was listening to a live stream with EVS and Zach, and they were talking about what characters they were sexually attracted to. EVS said, "I don't want to bang Wonder Woman. If anything, she would pull out a strap-on and sodomize me." Well, he didn't use those exact words, but I could tell that that is what he meant. They were saying that's why some characters struggle to sell, the bangability factor. Nobody, not talking to you, Nasser, is actually attracted to a cartoon. People focus on the story, but we want something easy on the eyes. Wonder Woman is 6'2", 200 pounds of growth hormone and DECA. Her clit is as big around as your thumb. All right, I had some other things about the vestige, brouhaha, and about the cervical cancer. There's the Pink News. If you go to Pink News, you'll just laugh and probably end up crying. There's some issue about women, like cervical cancer, saying somebody said only women get cervical cancer or something. And there are people who just on Twitter are very, very upset about a simple statement like that. The goal is to, get women to go and get your cervical cancer check or get men to get their prostates checked, whatever. Because, men get certain things and women get certain things. People on Twitter lost their minds because of somebody stating objectively true facts. We're headed for very, very dark days, and I wonder, like, what is the end game on this? All this stuff, it starts, and I was wondering, like, why they're so insistent on, like, the cervical cancer article. Why are they so insistent on the nomenclature of the newspeak? Because it doesn't end. It never ends. It's Weimar. It starts with gay marches decades ago, and then you got adult stores in cities, various Supreme Court battles over that. What did the justice say? I'll know it when I see it. And you get increasing gay characters in media, and they say, representation. Yeah, there's also such a thing as over-representation. And then I remember in the States, California, got away with gay marriage for a little while, and then they got it done on the federal level. And then you had drag men in public, then in schools, then men who were felons convicted of hurting children in schools around children. Nobody wants to speak up because they'll just get fired. Except that drag, better end there. Let me just, fuck it, on there. All right, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next episode.